onto one of the on-mountain trails that wound between the trees. I always love starting the new year outdoors, where I have space to think about everything I've accomplished in the previous year, all my victories, as well as my mistakes. You hardly ever make mistakes, Beatrice protested, immediately defensive on her father's behalf. He smiled at her outrage. I'm not too proud to admit when I'm wrong. And as a leader, it's important to listen to your critics, especially the ones you disagree with the most. You make it sound so easy. Beatrice's heart sank at the thought of all the criticism constantly directed at her. Because she wasn't fashionable like Princess Louise of France. Because she held back her emotions, which made her seem aloof and unreadable. Be more like Jeff, those people exclaimed on message boards and late-night talk shows. As if Beatrice could just flip a switch and become her brother, who won everyone over with easygoing charm. Sometimes, at her weakest moments, Beatrice wondered whether things would be easier if those people's wishes had come true. If Jeff had been born first, giving America yet another king, instead of its very first queen. Beatrice, look. Her dad pointed a few yards to the right, where a trail of small footprints disappeared into the trees. She might still be close by. Let's keep an eye out. It could be a he, Beatrice noted. It could, George conceded. But I think it's a female. Male foxes don't venture into the cold as much. They aren't as fierce. He glanced over, smiling softly. That's one of the many reasons you will be a great queen, Beatrice. She shook her head slowly. I am many things. Intellectual, serious, dedicated. But fierce isn't one of them. Your convictions are fierce, and you will need that. This job isn't an easy one. You have to be the stabilizing force beneath a rotating carousel of senators and judges, a constant amid the changing times. Beatrice shivered, and not from the cold. You're being very philosophical this morning, Dad. Something like regret flitted over her dad's expression, but it was gone before Beatrice could parse it out. He chuckled. You're right. This is too serious a conversation for the morning after a New Year's party. Speaking of which, he added, you and Teddy were enjoying yourselves last night. Right, Beatrice fumbled to say. But we haven't been dating very long. She and Teddy had been going on dates to appease the media. Or, more accurately, to appease their parents. Beatrice had to admit that she felt relaxed with Teddy. She had come to consider him a friend, and she didn't exactly have those in spades. I'm not saying you should rush into anything, her dad agreed. But I worry about you, Bea. I don't want you to be lonely in this role. I'm not lonely, I have you. Her father drew in a breath to reply. But then, behind a distant veil of trees limned in frost, Beatrice saw the flash of a red foxtail. Dad, look! She grabbed instinctively for his forearm. He stilled, his smile echoing her own, as they both watched the fox peer at them with suspicious eyes. Her pulse is picking up. What? Beatrice exclaimed, and the fox darted off. She sighed and released her grip on her dad. Why did you say that? Say what? Her dad leaned against a tree, fiddling with one glove as if adjusting it. But Beatrice realized that he was stalling. He had moved more slowly than usual this morning, which she'd attributed to the cold. But now she wondered if it was more. Bea, I miss you, he went on. Dad, are you okay? Why are you saying that? She took a step forward, her brow creased with concern. I miss you, Bea. I love you so much. She opened her eyes and blinked. A fluorescent light came into disjointed focus. A beeping noise. The low hum of machines. A face bent over hers. Handsome features creased with concern. What was Teddy doing here? Bea, thank God. Teddy's hand grabbed hers, the feel of his skin startling and familiar at once. Dr. Jacobs!